What is a role model? How do you recognise a role model? And how do you get to be a role model if you want to be a role model? Ladies, gents and Pikachus, welcome back to the Wokipedia podcast, episode 4? Episode 4, yes, and we'll be talking about role models. So, far be it from me to suggest that I am a role model. Of course I'm not, just a guy. But I know what role models are. I have role models, so I thought, what a good opportunity to flesh out some of my ideas about that. Shout out the Dissident Brit for the idea. For me, a role model isn't a title. It's not like a job that you do. Being a role model is an action. It's a thing that you perform. So it doesn't matter who you are. You could be the biggest scumbag on earth, and just walking along the road as the biggest scumbag ever. But someone who doesn't know anything about you might see you, and if you just callously do something horrible, they might think, well, he got away with it, so I'll do it. You know, they don't know your background context. They just see the action and they perform the action because they copy it. It's copycat. Conversely, if you do something good, anyone who observes that will see that. So the role model is in the behaviour, not in the person. The person doesn't matter. So we should be calling it role action, or something like that. But we'll stick to role model. That's the name. That's the label we gave it. The role is the actual job that you're trying to do. So Michael here is in the role of a psychotic maniac. So he's being a role model to other wannabe psychotic maniacs, but probably not to many other people. However, if one of the police said, "Please don't kill me, I have a family," and then he let him live, he's a role model. So it doesn't always make the most sense. And you can be a good role model who is a bad person, or you can be a role model to a bad person who's good. It all depends on the action, and so you should model the action for them, and that means you demonstrate, you model it in real life, so you demonstrate how the action should go in a good way. So give them like an ideal. This is the ideal standard of how this particular behaviour should be done, and if they copy it, you've been a role model to them, and they'll no doubt be a role model to others when they copy it in that viral fashion. You have almost certainly been a role model quite recently to someone and not noticed, unconsciously done it. We all do it all the time. It's because human beings are naturally very impressionable. Not to just anybody. We're not stupid. We're not going to be, you're not going to copy a pigeon when you see it crap itself, doesn't wear pants. But if you see something where the person makes an impression on you, then you will copy it. And that's another thing about being a role model. Is classically, you want to make a good impression wherever you can, but you don't want to go around preaching. So a role model isn't necessarily influencer. A role model is someone the influencer has been influenced by on the side kind of thing. Very rarely, you actually get all the planets align, if you like. So you get a good person who's a good influencer, who's got a good message, giving it to people in a good way, whose fans are good. That's the perfect. That's almost like the unattainable standard of beauty perfection when it comes to being an influencer, or a YouTube guy, or just anyone who wishes to be a role model. And whilst most of the time it will go unrewarded, the reward of being a role model is kind of contained in the result of being it. You'll find that the people around you react to you better. They listen to you, they value your opinion more. They will recognise that your life is improving because of your behaviours, and they'll copy that. That'll be the thing that makes you a role model. It won't be anything you decide or do. As much as campaigning and electioneering does work, you have to pay and you have to keep that energy level up. Role models don't have to make that much effort for people to see and copy them. They just naturally will have people gravitate to them. And I think it's a lofty goal. So if you want to be a role model and you want to use your online platform to give out a good message to people and become a kind of role model for them, then more power to you. Definitely, I'll support everything that you make. I'll watch all your content and throw likes your way and give you a shout out or whatever else. Just make sure you don't fall into the pit hole. Yes, there is a specific individual pitfall that I'm talking about when it comes to this kind of thing. Jordan Peterson, in my view, has fallen into it. He had some trouble and had to make a hasty change of career. So his new career is politics. And therein lies the problem. He's kind of gotten a bit preachy and a bit political now, so he's more into supporting candidates than he is the good message. And, a role model is more interested in the message than the people. A role model isn't there to sell you candidates, is what I'm saying. It's there to sell you behaviours. And it's not there to sell you them for a price. using fancy words. It's to demonstrate them to you and sell them to you by making it look obviously like, well, that generates a result. That's the path of least resistance, ladies, gents and Pikachus, the easy way to get the most done with the least fuss. It's what we all want, the promised lands of behaviour. So, yeah, coming up to the conclusion now is we are all our own role models in life, and it just depends how seriously you want to take it, doesn't it? So, if you want to be a real role model to people, then not only will you do all that stuff I said earlier, you'll set the perfect system up for yourself, but you'll never drop a clanger. You'll react well to criticism, you'll accept it when it's fair, and you won't... This is something I hate that people do. People become a role model, and they're not used to it. The fame, it's too much for them, and then they start getting egotistical, and they start attacking people for criticising them. So if you're a role model, you are able to take criticism, even when it's completely unfounded and unfair, and you are able to rely on your reputation and your past history of good behaviour. And that, ladies, gents and Pikachus, is the point. If you're a role model, your history and your behaviour now will all add up to an equals future good. And people will follow you for it. So, hope you enjoyed that, and I gave you a good reason to pick the right role models, learn from them, repeat what they do with your own twist on it, and then you will become your own role model, and other people will flock to you and want to be like you. So that's the best way to use your democratic power and your freedom and this platform. Anyway, I'll leave you to it now, so I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye now. Bye. By the way, Michael's not a good role model. That's the whole twist of the game, is they're all bad people, but they're trying to improve. Like we all should. Anyway, enough rambling. To the bathroom! See you in the next one. Bye.